It started with a random ad. I was scrolling through my phone in the evening. You were already asleep. I wasn't. And a picture appeared between the posts. Black lace, thin, delicate, but with a character. Not modest. I didn't dare to buy something like that before. What they call in one word. So feminine. I stopped. I looked at all the details and I thought, I want this, not for someone. At first, that's exactly what I told myself, for myself. I just want to feel like that. Dark, soft, a little mysterious. A wild cat that chooses when to show its claws. And I ordered it. I didn't think long. I pressed and closed the phone. I put it on the bedside table and looked at the ceiling. My heart was beating a little faster than usual. Could it really be me? The package arrived 3 days later. You were home. I heard the courier's call first and almost ran to the door. I took the package, said it was mine, and went to the bathroom. You didn't even ask what was in it, or pretended not to ask. I'm still not sure. I opened the package slowly. Black lace on white paper, thin, with a slight shine, with those details that you only notice up close. I held it in my hands and felt something strange. Not shame, not excitement. Something more solid. It looked like a decision. I tried it on. I went to the mirror and stood there for a long time. You know, there are moments when you look at yourself and don't recognize yourself, but in a good way. It's like you're taking off the top layer, the familiar, everyday, correct one, and underneath it is someone else. Not a stranger, on the contrary, more real. I saw in the mirror the woman I wanted to be, not perfect, alive, with that expression in my eyes that appeared after Florida, with that posture that was born at the dances, with that fire that woke up thanks to you. The black lace simply gave it shape, but I didn't show it to you right away. I hid it in a drawer, under sweaters, where you never look, and started waiting. Not passively waiting, but preparing, internally. Because there's a difference between having something beautiful and wearing it with confidence. The second is harder. The second requires not beautiful underwear, but a different state inside. I worked on this state. At the dances, I started moving differently, not just repeating after the teacher, but feeling every movement from the inside. She noticed. She came up after class and said quietly, "Now you're dancing." At home, I looked at you and allowed myself to think what I was thinking. I didn't chase away thoughts, but felt them completely. I allowed fantasies to be fantasies, vivid, alive mine. I imagined that evening, in detail, how I would turn off the lights, but not all the candles. I would leave one. How I would put on that black lace and look at myself one last time before leaving. How you would turn around. How your face would change. That evening came on Tuesday. Nothing special, an ordinary Tuesday. You came home from work. We ate. You took a shower. I heard the water and thought, today. Not because everything is perfect, but because there is no perfect moment. There is only the one you choose. While you were in the shower, I went into the bedroom. I took out that black lace from the drawer, from under the sweaters. I got dressed quickly before I changed my mind. I turned off the overhead light. I left one candle, the one on the windowsill with the scent of vanilla. I turned on the music, quiet, deep, without words. I stood by the window and waited. You entered the room in a towel, wet hair, relaxed, unsuspecting. You took 2 steps and stopped. Silence. I didn't turn around right away. I stood with my back to you. I knew it was right. I gave you a second. I let you see. Then I slowly turned around. You stood and watched. Not the way you look at something beautiful, but the way you look at something that knocks you off your feet. Your eyes are dark, your jaw is a little tense, your hands are down, but I saw how you were holding back. I took a step towards you, slowly, like in class, when the movement comes from the center, from the middle of the body. You didn't move, just watched. "Where are you?" you began. "Quiet," I said, and you fell silent. This was a new moment between us, the one where I lead, where I am, that wild cat that decides, and you, the one who lets her lead. Not because he's weak, but because he's smart, because there are men who are afraid of a strong woman, and you look at her and there's admiration in your eyes. I came close. I put my hands on your chest. I felt the warmth after a shower, the steady rhythm of your heart under my fingers. I looked up from the bottom. "Do you like it?" I asked in a whisper. You leaned into my ear. "You can't even imagine," you said. That evening we baked the hottest cupcake, but in a different way than before, with that new strength that appeared in me. I wasn't just there, I was completely present, with every touch, every look, every movement. That wild cat that lives in me now. She didn't hide. She was here, in the room with the candle and the black lace and you. And you felt it. I saw it in you. The way you look, the way you touch, the way you whisper my name in the dark. Not like usual, different. As if you were seeing me for the first time too, again. Then we lay in the dark. The candle had already burned out. The music had died down by itself. Only our breathing and the city outside the window, distant, indifferent, its own. You ran your fingers over my shoulder, slowly, from shoulder to elbow and back. Just like that, for no reason. "Where have you been all this time?" you asked quietly. I understood what you meant. Not where I was physically. But where was this me? The one with the fire, the one with the black lace, the one who speaks quietly and you listen. "Waiting," I answered, "until you come." You were silent. Then you pressed me closer. "I came," you said. "I know." Dear listener, if you think that passion is something that has already died out, that either it is or it is not, that it is either born that way or not, that the wild cat inside is not about her, that is not true. It is in everyone. It is just that sometimes it sleeps. From fatigue, from everyday life, from the fact that for years she wore a gray turtleneck and pulled her hair into a ponytail. Wake her up. Order that black lace. Or something you've wanted for a long time but were shy about. Look at yourself in the mirror and don't look away. Would you like her to become the same wild cat for you? Give her at least a little push for this, a day for yourself, and you will see that her eyes will shine differently. Believe me. Thank you for being here. I hope you responded. If so, subscribe to my channel. Until next time.